What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are talking about a Lions draft pick. We're talking about a late round pick, a day 3 pick by the Detroit Lions today, and that is Quintez Cephus, the wide receiver out of Wisconsin. This was the one wide receiver the Detroit Lions selected, which could be a future starter for the Detroit Lions. As we know, a lot of wide receivers for the Lions are not under contract. Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones Jr., and Danny Amendola are all not under contract, but we do expect at least Kenny Galladay to get an extension. So we're going to talk about Quintez Cephus today. Now, I actually have a full video where I break down all the stats and all the numbers and everything like that. So if that's what you guys want to hear, if you guys like the numbers, if you guys like the advanced metrics and stuff like that, I don't know, then there's another video on that for you where I do a Quintez Cephus breakdown. But today, it's more what I saw in the field. So this is more like, you know, the eye test. When people say, oh, I like the eye test, this is more of that. If you're a statistical person, wow, I can't English, go check out my other videos. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. Now, I wrote down my strengths and weaknesses of what I took away from watching him. I just picked out a few clips. Last time I did one of these videos on Logan Stenberg, we kind of just watched him, and I didn't watch him really before. We kind of just watched him together, and I was just reacting to it basically. But YouTube did a lot of weird cuts to that video, and it made it strange, and then I think it like made my voice not fit with what I was actually saying. So it was kind of weird. So to try to fix that, I picked my own clips, threw them into a video, and hopefully YouTube doesn't start cutting things around. Hopefully it just keeps it as it is. So that is the goal of this video, and let's check out Quintez Cephus. Now we're going to go through his strengths and weaknesses before we actually start watching some of the clips I put together. That way I can kind of point them out as we go. The first strength, because we always start off with the positives, is his release/burst off the line. I love the way he releases off the line. Now, you know, sometimes he kind of gives you a little hop, which is like, okay, don't do that. But he is able, in my eyes, to go against the press. Now, some people don't think because, you know, of his lack of 40 time that he's able to go against the press, but I like his size, his physical. You know, I feel like he's physical enough to get off of the line, and when you watch him play, he does have a solid release. Sometimes, you know, he'll make a couple of moves, maybe in and out, you know, kind of fake him out, and he'll be able to get around a cornerback, kind of lose him there without even having to touch him, and that's pretty impressive. That's something that I love. Actually, a great quote I heard when I was reading other people's reviews on Quintez Cephus with this: he's quick, not fast, and that's an absolute fact. He's not a guy that's going to run a 40. He's not a guy that's going to beat you in a dead sprint, but if you put him on the field, he's going to be very successful because he's quick, and that's really what it's all about. It's all about quickness, twitchiness in basketball, football, whatever sport it may be. It's all about being quick, not necessarily being the fastest guy in a straight line, and that's what you see with Quintez Cephus. His 40 time will tell you that he's slow and he's not quick, but if you watch him, the film tells you something else. The film gives you another story, and that's what I love to see with Quintez Cephus. So I love looking at these videos. Hopefully you guys continue to like these as well, because I like looking at, you know, players and kind of watching these, the players that we brought in. So let's continue to do that. Next strength that I have is his concentration. Now, not everybody has concentration. Some people lack concentration, and some people, when you throw them the ball, you know, they can get lackadaisical, you know, they drop it here and there. They have a couple of drops, and it's like, oh, that's not a big deal. But the problem is that comes up in big times when you need it the most, and that's not good. Quintez Cephus, to me, is always locked in. This dude is locked in, like very locked in mindset, and you don't see that with every player. And you know, he's not the best prospect out there, but he is very, very good at keeping concentrated on what's going on, and you know, that's how he makes a lot of his acrobatic catches. You know, I am a star wide receiver, you know what I mean? Like, you put me outside, I'll catch everything. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. And it's all about concentration. You know, every sport's all about staying concentrated and locked in. He's always locked into the ball. I can see in his eyes, he's following the ball wherever it goes, and he'll never give up on the play. Doesn't give on the play. The ball can bounce around 7 to 8 times, but he won't give up the play. He'll try to make a play on the ball. And you can see multiple times where he will make a play. I have one clip on that in today's video. So definitely love his concentration, and the fact that he catches everything with his hands. I mean, sometimes, you know, he'll let it fall on his body like a punt, but that's, you know, if he's got his guy deep beat and it's just like a 40-yard pass, yeah, let it fall in there like a punt. It's easier to catch that way. But I love his ability to go up and get it with his hands, snag it out of the air, not necessarily trying to catch it like this. And that's not always a bad thing, because I feel like Tate always caught it like this, but he was just so good at it. I mean, he was just on another level of doing that. My favorite one when I talk about Quintez Cephus is his ability to block. This dude can block like a monster. Now, there are some inconsistencies where he will miss his player, but when he does, and most times he does, when he gets his hands on a defender, this dude can really block, and he gives great help in run support and in pass blocking. If the pass is caught behind him, you know he can go up the field and block, but really in run support, they'll slide him inside, they'll push him against the line, and they'll use him like almost like a tight end, because he can block like that. He can force the edge rusher out of the play. He can take the corner basically out of the play and set up a hole for his running back. And we know that Wisconsin is a running football team with a Jonathan Taylor, who's one of the highest picks in this draft. He was a second-round pick. He went to Indianapolis. That is their running back, and they're known to be a run-first type of team, and so he had to be able to block. You know, wide receivers at Wisconsin have to be able to block, and that's what Quintez Cephus gives you, and that's what, you know, when you watch the Lions, that's what Marvin Jones Jr. gives, that's what Kenny Galladay gives, that's what our wide receivers give, and they're really trying to establish a running game this season and give Stafford some dang help in their running game, and getting wide receivers that can block is a huge step to that, especially when you do a lot of outside run plays. So, boom. That's probably my favorite thing. We'll look at a couple of those plays. Agility, I like his agility downfield. You know, he may not be the fastest player. And if you look at the 40, you probably say, okay, yeah, he's not beating anybody. And I don't think he broke that many tackles, but he's a very agile player, and he's kind of elusive in a slow way. Like, he's elusive, and it looks like, okay, you should be able to bring that guy down. That's not even a fast move, but it's something about it. It's something about the technique, the form that he does his jukes and spins with it. They're pretty dang successful. The next thing is his size. Like I said, I like his size to get some separation, especially when they press up a man-to-man. I think he's able to take on that. He's able to take on that press defense. And in practice, he's going to have to do that as well, because that's what the Lions do a lot as well. His versatility. The versatility to play on the outside, the wide, the slot, wherever you have to put him, you can put him at different wide receiver positions. Some people believe that he will be better in the slot and that he would be Danny Amendola's future replacement, because even though he's bigger than Danny Amendola, he doesn't have that top line speed, so the thought is, you could throw him at a slot. And that could work. He probably wouldn't be the most effective then on drag routes and things like that, because he's not the fastest player. But the ability to play both, so that, if there's an injury or whatever it may be, you can slide him in wherever you may need him. So that's awesome. Versatility is the name of the game with the Lions, so that's cool. Run support, like I said. Let's talk about some of his weaknesses that I pointed out. Now, there was two big knocks against him. One, he missed the entire 2018 season of being accused. That came up where he wasn't guilty the next season, so he came back for the 2019 season, but he missed the entire 2018 season, which hurts when you go back and look, because you're like, where is that entire season at? It's not there. It's nowhere to be found. And then obviously his 40 time, when you run a 4.73, which is the slowest out of any wide receiver, that's not looking good. That's not looking good. And a lot of people love the intangibles, right? Peoples-Jones, I think, helped himself a lot. But here's my thoughts on it. While Peoples-Jones had a great combine, dropped really high, had a nice 40, to me, Nico Collins is still the better receiver. No matter if Nico put up the numbers that Quintez put up, I would have took Nico, because I think he's the better receiver. That's just me. And I like Michigan. I'm a Michigan fan. So to me, it's more, what I see on the field. And what I see on the field from Quintez is some good stuff. It's play between the lines. In the words of Jeffrey Okuda, it's play between the lines. Yes. If you guys have not seen that clip, make sure you go check it out, okay? He talks about how this is the toughest wide receiver he's ever won against, or he went against in college. How he's like the only wide receiver to have 100-plus yards against him. So definitely check that clip out. Another thing is that they were a big run blocking team. So he was on a team, right? He missed the entire 2018 season. He's got I would say, not a good quarterback. I don't want to hate on any Wisconsin fans here, but I don't think their quarterback was that good in Cone. But to go along with that, they're a run-heavy team. So you didn't see him get tons of passes, but I think it does help when it comes to being able to block. So I guess there is there's good and bad there as well. He's not a burner wide receiver. He's not someone that you just want to throw it deep to. He's not your Tyreek Hill. Absolutely not. He does not have that great closing speed on the football, and that kind of comes back to speed as well. He's quick, but if he has to kind of run down a football and an out route on a deep ball and it's overthrown, like by far, he's probably not going to run it down, which kind of stinks. But, again, that comes back to the athleticism, which, it is what it is at this point, and that's a huge reason that he did fall. Top into this, let's watch it. Let's get it started. All right, now let me turn off the volume in case there is any. I don't have my headset on today, but that's okay. So the first play here you're going to see is an out route that Cone throws, and this is kind of just an example, I think, in my opinion, of him not being able to have that closing speed, to make the play on the ball. But again, it's not a great pass. I saw this a couple times against Iowa. He ran a crossing route one time, and it was kind of high, and he wasn't able to go up and get it. This one to me is not a great pass. He throws it to the outside here. He just kind of overthrows him, and he's not able to close on the football, but hey, it is what it is. Now, as we get into these next clips, you're going to see a lot of clips of his ability to block. Now, this one is like a little screen, I think. So this is where I think he hops out onto the screen. Right here, he gets it on the screen. So again, he's able to play different positions. He hops in basically to his slot position. He's got two blockers ahead of him, and he makes a nice move right here. Watch this, boop. So even though he's kind of slow, he gives you that little stutter move. He kind of shimmies down, break him down, and then all of a sudden he hits you with that nice little spin. So pretty quick. I mean, it doesn't look that fast, but it's effective. See, nice little spin move, pretty effective. All right. Let's get to this next play here. You're going to see a nice little comeback / curl route. He does these a lot of comebacks and curl routes, and he's not the fastest receiver, and I think that actually helps him because he's not being sent as deep as often, but he has a great form, and he's able to kind of rip through without getting called for a flag and get himself back to the football and kind of position himself away from the cornerback, kind of use his size and physical nature as as a benefit for him instead of, kind of playing into the defense's hands, which is, hey, run straight because you're not burning me deep. So he's able to, do a lot of these short intermediate routes. You'll see here, right? Nice little comeback. I mean, look at this. Look how much separation he creates. And this is not that fast wide receiver. So, there's not a huge threat that he's going to go deep. But right here, just stopping on the dime, this is great footwork. Watch it stop. Look how he just stops real quickly. He knows his route and the defender doesn't, but a quick stop. You're in man-to-man defense, and he's able to quickly get back. And look at that. I mean, he's got a, 1, 2, 3, good 4 yards on him while the cornerback's on the ground. Now, obviously, this is Central Michigan, not the best opponent, but it's still pretty impressive. Okay, here we go. This is the first player you're going to see with blocking. This is blocking downfield, again in the run game, but it's downfield. And he's just able to recognize, like he sees the rushing play. He obviously knows what the play is. He's able to usually pick someone up. You can see him blocking downfield there. A couple of times I could see like, okay, yeah, that might be holding. You got to be careful, make sure your hands inside. But he always does, look to block, which is awesome. Here's another blocking situation. I like this one the best. So this is what wide receivers taught to kind of crash down, and you take away the run support. So right here, you're going to see the safety, right? So there's a handoff. It's kind of like a counter almost. It almost looks like one. Defensive lineman breaks through, but this is a safety that's coming down for run support, right? He's kind of tacking down, and that's Quintez's job, even though he's kind of on his blind side, to kind of take him out of the play. And this is a perfect opportunity to just kind of hit him. That's what he does here. He kind of just winds up and takes him out. I kind of wish he would just went through him, but he didn't really run him over. He kind of tried to I don't know what he necessarily tried to. I feel like he tried to run him over there. I feel like he would have been better off just running directly at him instead of giving him a little hop here. He kind of hopped and tried to blow him up. He didn't really do that. But again, it does help. It does help that he is at least physical enough to be like, hey, I want that smoke. I want the smoke. That's good stuff. All right, here we go again. You see him on the deep route. I'm not even sure what this one is. Oh, this is where he burns him. Okay, cool. So this is Central Michigan again, and this is where I talk about his release. So even though he's not the fastest player and he doesn't have the crazy threat, you can see a nice little, couple step stutter, and he's able to kind of fake in and get you to that quick out. And all of a sudden, the defenders turn around. Now, the thing is, the defender is probably expecting that he can stay with him, and maybe he thinks he has a safety over top. I'm not sure. But as you see, he's caught looking back in the backfield, and it makes him lose Cephus, and then he's stumbling trying to get back. And he may not be the fastest guy, but if you're completely lost like that, you're probably gonna get burnt. It just was gonna happen. So here we go again, and this is on the top of the screen, I believe. So you're gonna see him do the basically same thing, same game, kind of the same thing against just a different corner. So a nice little release again. He's got him on his hip, and makes the cornerback kind of look slow there, I would say, but a good hands, able to, have concentration on the ball. Catching it over your shoulder is not easy like this because you don't see the ball the whole time. You're not able to just kind of have it drop here. You got to look over. That's not a hard catch. Try it out. I'm telling you, it's not easy. So to see that come over, catch it out here, and have the ability to catch that, but not just fall, but to keep your balance, keep control, and get to the end zone is pretty impressive. All right, here we go again. You're going to see a nice little screen to him. This is something they're able to mix in because, again, he can play different spots. Not the fastest guy, but, again, nice little agile move there, nice little spin move, and, then take a defender head on. So he's definitely physical, and that's what I like. He's not scared of contact whatsoever. Nice little comeback route again. I didn't actually get the full release on that one, unfortunately, so he made a nice little comeback route. But that's something that definitely went to a lot, little curls, stuff like that. Here we go. This is great. Now, this is probably holding. I'm assuming they could have called holding here. They didn't. You got to make sure you get your hands inside, but he's right here, and he's going to basically run support, and he's taking this corner and kind of pushing him out of the play, which is going to create a hole here. So the linemen are trying to block up field, because if they get these linebackers, he's going to be one-on-one with probably a safety, and that's where you want him. The problem is he kind of grabs a little bit. You see how he gets his hand behind, because the defender's trying to get by. I don't know if he necessarily grabs as much as he kind of just puts his hand back there, but I would just say be careful. But again, here we go again, helping in the run game, kind of pushing his cornerback out of the play. And he doesn't necessarily need to push him out. He just needs to have contact with him to kind of open up that nice little hole for Jonathan Taylor. So that's what I like to see there, because he only needs a quick pop. Once you get through that, you're good. But he just needs a couple of seconds to hold that block. And now here's the concentration at its finest. Never giving him the ball. You can see he's locked in on the football. He never gives up. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, he's tipping the thing around like crazy, but he doesn't give up. He's still locked into the football, and he's destined to make a play. He wants to make a play on this ball, and even with the defender locked all over him, hanging on to him, he still makes a play. Great play by Quintez. That's concentration. That's what I want in a wide receiver. Your first job as a receiver is catch the football, and he can do that, and that's what I love. You can run a 4.2, but if you can't catch the football, that ain't gonna help me. If you catch the football though, which again you can't teach, you can't just teach someone to catch a football, because if you could, every fast player would be a good wide receiver. But there you see great hands, and that's what you got to be able to do. And then again, blocking upfield here, you can see the running back. And look at this one. This is probably his best block I've ever seen. I mean, seriously, out of all the games I've watched, it's probably by far his best block. So you can see he starts here. He's kind of going down the field, kind of pulls off 19, right? Drives him off. But then he's able to pick up the safety as the great center move comes out. But you can see he picks up the safety. I mean, he literally just runs him over. Look at this. I mean, he pancakes the dude. That's a pancake. So, yeah, I'm excited to see Quintez, man. He may not have the most explosive 40, and he may not get you really excited with his athleticism, but he's quick, not fast, and when it comes to playing on the field, he makes plays. Really don't know how he fell as far as he did. I think that's a huge reason missing 2018, but I'm glad that he did fall because we were able to snag him. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.